And welcome to my bread review of Japan. For those of you wondering to yourselves, bread review? So yes, bread review. Needless to say, I have an interest in it. Anyways, 2 weeks ago I teased that I would be unveiling something that I hope will keep things somewhat exciting while I work on the codebase for my Raccoon game, instead of just having code and gray cubes for these videos. And voila! Here it is. No full body reveal yet because, like all high IQ game devs, I've only developed the absolute bare minimum, which is a very verbaceous way to say there are no pants yet. By the way, I own this hat. That's right, read it and weep, baby. Now, before you all have time to formulate inappropriate thoughts, bread. I ate a lot of bread in Japan and I shot the breeze and talked shop with a few bakers while I was over there. And I've got bad news, Sourdough Nation. The Japanese are not fans of crusty bread. And I think this is best exemplified by shokupan, basically white sandwich bread. This is really the baseline of bread in Japan, and that is in no ways a criticism of it. Shokupan is incredibly fluffy, and when toasted you get a delightful contrast between the toasted exterior and the warm fluffy interior. Great for breakfast. This really is just an all-around good bread that will basically never let you down no matter where you get it from. And the great thing about shokupan that we don't have here in America is that you can get extra thick slices. I'm talking thick with a QUE. Real big fan of the sheer variety you can get. After shokupan, I think the second most iconic Japanese bread is melon pan, and I gotta say, it was good, but I'm not a fan. Just not for me. It's a little more toothsome, but there's no sourdough-like contrast between the crispy, toasted exterior and the loose crumb of the interior. Instead, it's really just uniform texture-wise, and yeah, it's got some sugar on it, but that really wasn't doing it for me. Aesthetically, I do like it. It's cute, but again, just not for me. Next, multiple breads from Kino Bakery in Niigata. Now, before I proceed to the bread, Niigata is lit. It's better than Tokyo. Kino's has a great soup and bread meal on their menu, which was, just great. This was after completing the Gunma Ridge Loop, so lordy, I was in need of some good food, and this really hit the spot. Solid shokupan. Their Italian bread was beginning to approach what we get here in America. Nice crusty exterior, but fluffy interior. However, it was, the contrast just wasn't there quite yet. Also, great croissant, but not the best I had over there. But what I really liked here were the bagels. I've recently begun learning how to make bagels, so I've developed a deeper appreciation of them. And Kino's has some great bagels. I've never seen this before, and I probably gotta go out more. But they twist the bagels into these nifty knots, and they come in a bunch of flavors. And I'm proud to say Kino's gets the best bagels in Japan. After Kino's, the next bakery I went to was Pain, or Peña in Hakodate. Yes, I went there because the name was funny, but honestly, an amazing little bakery. In retrospect, this has the widest selection of both bread and pastries at all of the bakeries, which is surprising because it felt like I could touch both sides of the place if I really stretched my arms out. I got a bag full of baked goods before I went traipsing about the foreign district in Hakodate, and honestly, great choice. Everything here was definitely top notch, but my favorite was this sweet cream bran bun, but unfortunately I don't know the name. My whole bread tour was based on the looks good? Buy it method, and it worked out great except for the nouns. Yeah, I could have used Google, but then I'd look like a goober pointing my phone at everything. Come on, I bake. I know bread. What do I need words for? Anyways, here's this photo I found with the label, and I'll leave it for one of my more Japanese talented viewers. And I think Pain had the best shokupan, and honestly, this is this one thick slice. I got this from Pain. Great. It was definitely the most fluffy and tender shokupan I had while over there. Now, I was planning to go to bakeries in Sapporo, but I ended up climbing a mountain instead. But listen, trust me, go to Sapporo. Now I know, yada yada Tokyo, yada yada Kyoto. No. Go to Sapporo. Of all the large cities I went to, I enjoyed it the most. Sapporo has soul. And moving from my favorite large city to my most hated large city, Kyoto. I hate them, but I gotta give them credit. Damn fine bread and pastries. I went to Bakehouse Inoue, twice. I got a quenelle, choux pan, this chocolate thingy, and a croissant. And yes, all I have is this blurry photo. I was not vibing with the people in the hostel, much like how I was not vibing with Kyoto overall. But Bakehouse Inoue? Best croissants in Japan. I wanted to give it to Pain or the final bakery I'll show you because I really just don't like Kyoto that much. But whoo boy, those croissants, buttery, flaky, tender, all that. Some croissants are too flaky and brittle, others are too buttery and soft, but these croissants are bringing the best of both worlds, and honestly, they were the best croissants I've ever had, not just in Japan or Kyoto, just period. Best croissants in my life. Good job, Bakehouse Inoue. And moving from best croissant to worst bread, period. This sausage bread from La Terre, just awful. Just a uniform, extreme chewiness throughout without any crust. Now, I love a good, crusty, chewy sourdough, but this is white bread with a dense crumb structure. No high hydration, loose structure. And the sausage inside was largely uninteresting and overcooked. I advise against the sausage bread from La Terre. Pocari Sweat though? I highly recommend Pocari Sweat, but Aquarius more so. Next bakery, Mana in Mitoi Gunma, few stops north of Takasaki. Great chill little bakery. They have a great take on a ham and cheese sandwich, where instead of having the ham and cheese between two slices of bread, it's just in the slice of bread. Good stuff. I highly recommend both it and Gunma. Mana Bakery is owned and operated by a very friendly husband and wife team, and they're just great people. And final bakery on the tour, Nezuno Pan in Tokyo. This place definitely had the most creative flavors of breads and pastries. Yeah, that's a chocolate and tangerine marmalade bread. And while it was good, looking back on Kino, Pain, and Inoue, it just wasn't as good. I did get it late in the day, so I definitely wasn't getting the freshest and bestest stuff, and so I imagine it's leagues better when it's fresh, and probably would be bumped up alongside Pain and Bakehouse Inoue, but oh well. Regardless of the time of day, if you're in Tokyo, I recommend it. Just try to get there in the morning, unlike me. And finally, my favorite bread in Japan. Now, I didn't get a picture of this because I was too busy shoving it in my face every time I had it. Curry pan. And not just any curry pan, but Belk's curry pan. And I gotta say, this bread will heal your soul. You're having a rough day after failing to bike up an initial D mountain in the rain on a granny bike? Belk's curry pan is there for you. It's basically a soft and fluffy bun with delicious curry inside and little crispy fried bits on the outside. The curry is really good. It'd be good by itself, and then bam, it's in this great bread. I did some intense bread thinking on the lengthy flight back from Japan, and I kept coming back to this curry pan. It was my favorite. I liked it more than the Inoue's croissants, and I liked it more than that bran cream bun from Pain. And whoo lad, you microwave it for about 20 seconds, it's even better. Honestly, this bun was probably my favorite food in Japan. Oh, and what's this? This isn't bread. Still a good shortcake, and from what I understand about the Sanrio lore, Cinema Roll is quote unquote literally me FR. Except he's cool, bakes for his own bakery cafe, skateboards, and has a cute girlfriend, whereas I just bake. Goals, maybe? Anyways, in other news, this is the last of the fortnightly releases. I've got mixed feelings about this. I've grown to enjoy making these videos even though I'm still not the best at it. But I also want to do more game dev. I don't know. It just seems like I've been real strapped for time lately. Undoubtedly, that's probably mostly my own failings, but it is what it is. And that wraps it up for this video. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good day. If and only if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. And if you want to follow along for the next one, which will be a devlog that releases the last Friday or Saturday of October, please subscribe. I have a shell of a presence on Twitter or X or whatever Elon changes its name to next, but you're welcome to follow me there. I plan to be posting there more often now that I'll have more time. There's also a Discord server where, again, I'll be more regular with now that I'm releasing myself from the onus of fortnightly videos. And you know your boy will post baking pickies on the server. And speaking of baking, let's get to it. And this is almost a perfect contrast to all the Japanese breads. We're back, sourdough, crusty, chewy, toothsome bread. And I think this is like, I got a beautiful ear on this one. This one turned out just great. I'm trying to remember what made this one turn out so well. And because really, and as we can see, we're back at the real crusty bread. Oh, that was one thing. I not only did I get a real hankering for tomatoes in Japan, I also had a hankering for, crusty bread. And it's not just me. Like, I was talking to some of the bakers there, and they're like, yeah, some of them love like sourdough. Like I'm sorry, some of them love sourdough. It's just, they can't sell it. It's not popular over there at all. So, like, if they do it, it's for themselves. So really, it's a taste thing. It's, shokupan is what's popular, so that's what sells, But let's take a look at the crumb inside, and ooh, you don't get this. You see, yeah, okay, it's chewy, but look at that crumb. Whereas that one hot dog bread, it was not good. And honestly, this was a great bread. I'm gonna pause this real fast. Look at my notes for it. Okay, so my notes read crummy thick. So yeah, that's it. And I think this was the first one. As you can tell, it's got a real floury exterior, and this is the first time I used the double Dutch oven for making bread, which is why the top is more floury than usual. So instead of just a Dutch oven where, you gotta drop it in there carefully, we'll swip to the next cross section. You can actually place it on the lid and then, flip it upside down. And so, I don't got to worry about burning my fingers, which, kind of important for all the slapping away at a keyboard I do. Anyways, so again, as usual, I make 2 loaves as usual, and we'll take a look at the next one. And ooh, that's gorgeous. This is the second loaf. And honestly, I just, I think this was the first time I used this double Dutch oven, which I really love using now. I think it's Lodge. It weighs about, 10 pounds, but it's good. So yeah, it's good. And, I got results first time. So can't say that about a lot of things. And as you can see, beautiful ear. I should go back to doing this. I've been doing a cross slit instead of just single slit recently, and the single slit, you just get real good ears because it's just one. So I might go back to the single, but I have some thoughts. I think it affects how the crumb forms. So I'll experiment a little bit more. We'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off here. I can't have you overdosing on bread this episode. And I'll use the classic sign-off. The yeast in the air is free. Go out there and bake. It's great. It's delicious. It's good for you. It's a great conversation topic if you're going around the world just talking to strangers. Great way to make, great way to meet people. I'll say that. What else? Oh, and it makes a great gift. It's a great way to share it with your friends. And I'm all over the place with this one. Let's try again. It makes a great gift, and it's a great way to show the people that you love and care for that you appreciate them. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.